Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Louisiana Nomad Lawyer. I'm here in my primary boondocking spot, downtown Baton Rouge. Just killing a little time before I decide to go to bed and call it a night and get ready for wake up for work in the morning. We're 2 days from Thanksgiving. Tomorrow I'll probably about midday take off from work, and then I'll head to Mississippi to be with family for Thanksgiving. Um, but anyway, just wanted to, you know, kind of just discuss a couple more things that I may not have touched on in my first couple of videos. And there will be more videos coming. I plan on doing a lot of these things, just having fun with it, and maybe seeing how it goes, seeing what kind of followers I get and all that. But just want to give a little more detail on some things that I wasn't able to touch on. And one is this: while everything has been pretty good for the most part, and the plan to boondock, I really went into that not knowing what to expect. I really kind of took it like it was a gamble. And I might have had to have had a backup plan, and I did have a backup plan. I mean, if it was got harassed by the cops or it just didn't work out, I was gonna, go to a RV park. There are a couple, pretty close that were short commutes. But honestly, that part, as far as just boondocking on the street here, has worked out really well. I don't think you could tell from my one video where I'm outside and showing you where I'm parked. That was the last video I made. Um, that the stretch where I park actually looks kind of desolate. But I mean, literally just a block or two over, I have a grocery store. I have a stretch, one street, Third Street, that's just lined with bars and restaurants, and so I have plenty of options, you know, for things to do where I don't have to just sit here in the RV. I actually spend most of my time outside of the RV. And there's even the Mississippi River is just 3 blocks away with a nice levee, concrete levee, walking path and bike path. I'll get on my bike like I did tonight and take a nice ride for. I went on about a 15-mile bike ride tonight, you know, on the river. And so anyway, one thing is, there was a bit of a learning curve with the RV. I thought, hey, it has an air conditioner and refrigerator and all the mod cons and amenities. But the drawback with that is, if you are boondocking and you're in an urban environment and you don't really want to draw attention to yourself, it's kind of difficult to use those things, because, like the air conditioner, because you have to either be plugged into shore power, or you have to be running the generator. The generator is really loud. I didn't expect it to be as loud as it is, and it's just too loud to run without drawing attention to yourself if you're trying to remain kind of stealth. Um, so I have roof vents I had to open, and just kind of, I had to bear the heat near the end of the summer, which is pretty brutal here. And so my first few weeks in this thing, nighttime was not very fun. I mean, I could deal with it, and I knew the weather would be cooling off soon. So eventually, I'm all right now. It's fall, and even though it's a very unseasonably warm fall, it still cools off at night, and it's not an issue. The heat's not an issue for sure at nighttime. Um, but I will say, coming around into the next spring, late spring, summer, I will probably figure out a space either at an RV park or somewhere else where I can, have a space dedicated that I can plug into and run the air conditioner, because that's not something I don't want to go a whole summer in southeast Louisiana without running the air conditioner. But thank God I did find out that there were these little battery powered tent fans. So I bought one of those and just aimed it at my face, and I mean it did the trick. I could bear it, you know. I could manage to get a few hours of sleep a night, 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and at least, you know, get some sort of rest, even though I was hot and sweating. Um, so yeah, so if you're the uh, the generator is just, if you're in an urban boondocking setting around where people live, and if you're trying not to draw attention to yourself, the generator is just way too loud. Also, I haven't quite figured out my refrigerator. I think something's wrong with it because it you know, sometimes it seems like it wants to work and it starts to work and it works for like a day, and then it just kind of stops. So that's why the Arctic cooler that you saw in the interior tour video that I did, that's why I got that. And that thing is it's a serious cooler that, you know, keeps ice for like several days. So so until I can get the refrigerator working properly or figure out what's going on with that, which I hope to do within the next couple weeks, I put all my cold stuff, you know, in that cooler. That's why I bought it. One thing too is one thing that separates me from, I think, a lot of people that do this, and this is something I wanted to talk about, is one thing that makes me kind of different from a lot of the people that boondock like this and kind of just live out of a van or, you know, small RV like this or whatever. Is I see all these videos of people that they have jobs or financial ability to just kind of travel around all over the place and not, like, they don't have to report to an office every day, you know. And for me, you know, I mean, I have this kind of identity outside of work, but every day when I show up to work, I mean, I'm a working professional who has to dress nice, and I'm around, like, you know, normal working professionals that kind of like, you know, it's one of those things where someone asks you where you live, and I've had that happen. It's a really awkward question because, you know, how do you tell them? Like, in that environment, you're gonna be looked at as a weirdo, you know. And I was worried that I would be. So, you know, I kind of like broke the news to my work colleagues, a couple of them ahead of time, that I was doing this, and I made it a point because I knew they thought I was kind of weird, and I knew they probably had this image in their head of this just like weird hippie guy, you know, living out of this van with no shower and just, you know, basically like almost like a homeless guy, you know, living out of his hippie van. And I wanted to assure them that that was not the scenario, and that it was basically like a normal residence, you know, as far as I had all the stuff that they have, as far as, you know, a working bathroom with a shower, sink, toilet. You know, I have a kitchen, I have everything that I need to be comfortable, really. So I made it a point. I actually drafted an email and took pictures of this thing, like all over the interior and everything, and made sure to send to them with a description of, you know, brief description of why I was doing this, and, you know, and just to kind of like educate them on the fact that, you know, this whole concept or idea of going tiny is just not as crazy as it may sound, you know. So I wanted to like let them know that, see that it was like a nice RV and nice space, and that I wasn't like just this weird hippie dude living out of a van, you know. But so anyway, that's one thing, is being a professional and having to report to an office every day and maintaining this day-to-day 9 to 5 job, you know, in this kind of like a little bit of a high-powered, or, you know, office environment, and with you know, it's just a very unconventional thing that I'm doing, but it was, um, so I felt like I really had to make an effort to basically prove to them that it wasn't as unconventional as it may sound. So anyway, that's just something I've had to do and I've had to deal with. Like I said, people will ask me, like, where are you living? And I've actually had to tell them, well, funny you should ask, but anyway, I have a UPS mailbox. I would highly recommend that for anyone wanting to do this. I know, as far as just boondocking and being on the go and not having a dedicated mailbox. And I used to work at a UPS store years ago, so this is how I knew already. But, there are a lot of deliveries that can't be made to post office boxes. So, but they can be made to UPS mailboxes. UPS mailboxes can accept postal mail plus all the private postal carriers and parcel delivers, UPS, FedEx, all that. So that way I figured I could have anything sent to me there and wouldn't have to worry about it. And so that's it. Just trying to think of a couple things I could tell you that maybe I didn't fill you in on before, in the other couple of videos, and just things I can think of to give you a better idea how this all works. And it really, I made it sound like it's all roses, and it's not. Like I said, dealing with the weather here in southeastern Louisiana, the summer times are absolutely brutal. Brutal heat, and we had a really, especially like record hot summer, where the temperature didn't get below 80 degrees at night, and that's the technical temperature. That's not the feels like temperature, but it didn't get below 80 degrees for something like 40 something nights in a row, which means really with the humidity, the feels like temperature probably didn't get below 85. So that's one thing. Weather's the main thing. The other thing is I have also had, I haven't been harassed by the police or haven't been asked to move, but I have had crackheads or whatever knock on my doors it's happened 2 times in the past couple months, and both of them knocked on the door, I would say anywhere from like 2 in the morning to 3:30 in the morning. And I really don't think they were knocking on the door to like bug me. I think they were knocking on the door to kind of case the vehicle and see if anyone was in it. And if not, then they probably would have tried to break in or something. I don't know. Because as soon as they heard me stir, in both instances, they took off. So, but I mean, it was relatively, just an inconvenience. Woke me up. Nerves were on edge for probably a couple minutes, and neither of them came back. I saw both of them as they were leaving on the 2 occasions, and they were 2 different guys, and they haven't come back. So, it's been fine. So anyway, that's it. Kind of rambled on, and I'll end the video now. But thanks for watching, and this is just my little hobby right now, and my way of kind of informing people that aren't familiar with this lifestyle, or maybe thinking about doing this or not quite sure, just kind of helping to get the word out on how it works, or at least my experience with it, and letting you form your own opinion on it from there. So that's it. Thanks for watching. This is Louisiana Nomad Lawyer, and good night. Talk to you later.